Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Career Aspiration mini-series, where we have a chance to talk with a lot of different professionals, different backgrounds, different experiences, and really have a chance to understand about their stories and how they managed to find their own career pathway. And today we have a chance to talk to someone very familiar to VietPro. He used to be our president and is currently based in Czech Republic. So we welcome Annie, or we call himself Anh Phung. So hello, how are you?
Hi, Sun. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me as one of your people who could share the experience.
No, thank you so much. And obviously, if you follow VietPro, you probably are well aware of Annie. But for all the other people, do you want to give a bit of introductions about yourself, what you're currently doing, and yeah, what are you
Sure.
up to now?
So my name is Anne. I'm from the Czech Republic, from Prague, obviously with Vietnamese roots, and I did my bachelor's degree at the LSE, and I've been working for 7 years now, and I'm now a product manager at a tech company called Product Board here, based in Prague.
And let us know what exactly did you study in university?
Oh, yes, yes. I studied business management. I did only a bachelor's degree. I didn't do a master's degree. And maybe just a quick background as well. I'm an EU citizen, so I didn't have a pressure of needing to find a job that required visa. Today it's different because in the UK they give you now up to 2 years, which is great. And so because I didn't have that pressure, I tried like a different route. So I worked for a startup company for 3 years. I did basically anything, everything, and then I came across product management, and it took me a year and a half to transition into product management. And so now for the last 3 years, 3.5 years, I'm working as a product manager.
Okay. I've got quite a few questions from the background you just shared as well, even though I know you for quite a while, but there's still
Uh-huh.
some good curiosity from that. Number one is obviously you study business management.
Hmm.
Loads of people, including myself, when I choose a degree course in university, I think a lot about, oh my God, I have to make such big decisions at the age of
Hmm.
18.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I'm going to do that in the future. And obviously, you do something not completely different, but it's not directly business management. How do you find the link between, yeah, the degree that you study and then when you get to the actual sort of practice and, yeah, doing your
Hmm.
job?
Sure. I would say that it's like I don't think there are only a few, I think, small percentage of people who at the age of 18 really know what they want to do. I think majority of people is kind of, hey, let me try do this because think it's interesting. And some parents probably say, hey, do this because you're gonna earn money. Right. So I think in my case, I chose business management because my dad was an entrepreneur. And so I said, hey, like I don't really know exactly what to study, but it seems safe and I could run a business in the future. So that's what I learned. And then to a question, like how much overlap did I have? I wouldn't say a lot. I think what university taught me is more like how to study, how to focus, how to work in teams, deliver projects. And then there's some like theoretical stuff that I guess I brought with me into like the startup job that I did. I think like I did accounting and finance, so I guess that helped a little bit. I also I'd say that a lot of the things I got out of university is like really the working in teams and working on projects. So I think really like the practical experience of doing projects helped me the most. In terms of like the theory, in my case, I didn't like use a lot of it.
Yeah. I think that's great because for me as well, I do share the same experience of even for me, I do accounting, I study accounting, but the real life and the theory is very different. But the things that you learn most from university is really the soft skills and all of the things that you pick up on the friendships and all the different experiences of working with different people, especially in London as well. Okay, and then tell us a little bit about startup, because obviously that is quite different. Lots of people, when you start, you want to work for a big company, big reputation, because you feel like that's quite a safe option. So, how do you find working in a startup?
Yeah, so again, I have to really emphasize the context that I didn't have the pressure. Thankfully, I think you now, students also have like 2 years now. I I have to be honest, like I thought to myself, I started this. I was kind of lucky I didn't land a role, like a graduate role at one of the big companies, and then I decided, hey, why not try the startup company, work with a startup company? I was like the first employee, and the founders were like from Harvard Business School, so I thought I could learn a lot from them, and so that's why I chose that. I won't lie to you that there were times where there were not times, there were many like occasions where I thought to myself, hey, like, am I doing a mistake working at a startup? Because when I, caught up with friends from uni, they wouldn't tell me like what jobs they're doing or how much they're earning. And I told to myself, oh man, like I'm like I would need like 2, 3 years until I get to that salary within the startup environment. And so I did doubt myself. This was monetary, and also I was doing a lot of different things, which I didn't go into depth that much. So I did very like vertical learning, not like sorry, horizontal learning, not vertical. And at some point, I thought to myself, like, if I go apply somewhere else, what can I actually offer? I don't have like you know expertise. Um, but thankfully, I think that a lot of the things I've learned in the startup, I was able to actually apply at my later job. Because at the startup, you have to do so many things, juggle different things, so you have so many transferable skills. Um, so there's definitely pros and cons. I don't think there's like a right answer. It's more like you have to choose what you want to do. Certain people they don't want to go through a structured program, and they want to hustle or like get a breadth of experience. And for some, they kind of know what they want to do. So I think it makes absolute sense to go and do a graduate role in a bigger company with a more structured program. And also, you can work for start for 3 years or something, and you can still go to a big company. And it's the other way around as well. So
Yeah, that's definitely something quite refreshing for me. I never have a chance to work for a startup, but I guess that's at the end of the day, I think as long as you enjoy the company and you're in line aligned with their values and you find that you've got something to learn, especially at this young age, I do think that's the most important thing. You briefly touch on a little bit about um, finance, a bit about salary, a bit about money. Obviously, normally quite sensitive topics, but if you had to rank money on the scale of how important it is as a sort of your first job, how would you rate out of 10 and why?
oh wow.
That's a difficult one.
Wow, I would definitely not say 10 because if I did 10, I would look for like the highest paying job. I would say it was like I can't also lie, it's like low. I would say it's like in the range of 5, 6, 7. I choose six. I think it is important. I think it's important to a certain degree that you are able to live a, like still a comfortable life. Um, but for me, I think I knew going into like the startup that what I prioritized was my learning and not the salary. Uh, at first, obviously, as you work and you're adding value to the company, you're learning a lot, and your salary doesn't increase that much, then it I think it moves slightly from 6 to like 7. And then once you sort of specialize, like where I am now, it's in my role as a product manager, then I think it would probably goes to another notch, like 8, 9. And so it depends. It depends at what stage of your life you are and how important you find salary. For me, when I started out, salary was like a 6. I really prioritize learning. And if
Okay.
I good question if it's like if I had to do it all again, you know, I would do the same.
So then, okay, salary 5 or 6. What would be number 10 then?
Like, what do you mean? Like in terms of?
Yeah, so you say a bit about experiences, but what sort of things that you treasure most? So, for example, experience would be
Oh,
a
okay.
good boss or a good sort of doing something you love.
Yeah.
Yeah, what would be the key thing for you?
Oh, I think this like definitely learning is at the top because um I want to, so my motivation is that I wanted to run a business of my own in the future. So I didn't want to specialize. I wanted to get a big breadth, and I was able to have that at the company. So that's one. The other is I really wanted to work with talented people who could teach me. So as I told you, like the founders were from Harvard. The people that they hired were extremely like great at what they did. So I learned like tons from them. And then three is the third one. I think is definitely also your colleagues. Whether you enjoy working with the colleagues, I definitely did. I had like tons of friends from there, and I still like am in touch with them today. And I would definitely like hire a lot of them or like refer them to my current company. So yeah, just to recap, it's like breadth of experience, like talented people, and the third is like the people themselves, if I can get on with them.
Good. You mentioned how important it is to work with talented people and find a good mentor. Share us a little bit experiences of you finding a good mentor in your career, and yeah, how it actually impact your career.
So that's a great question. I didn't actually, go and search for a mentor. I was lucky that I had like more people or senior people around me, just like giving me advice, life advice as well as like work advice. So I was really lucky in that. I mean, I also um, sort of like seek for feedback, and I'd say probably I still remember, and I share this with many of my friends. Um, is I remember one of my French managers. I think this was like 2.5 years into the job. I was asking him in terms of like, hey, uh, I don't know if doing sort of like the jack of all trades is still what I want to do. I feel like product management is what I wanted to do, and the French manager told me, you need to prioritize yourself. Sometimes in life, you can't always do things for others, and that was like this that stuck with me because I was always like loyal. I didn't want to leave the company. If I left the company, how would they do without me? I felt like I'm not doing the right thing. But then I was like mentally and professionally not doing well. And I remember him saying that, and it was, I think, to this day, I still use that and think about that whenever I need like make big important decisions. So that's like an example of when a person, a mentor, made a difference.
And you know why I asked that question? It is because we have VietPro and we have Career Prospect, our event, as you probably get involved a lot of time in the past. So our event Prospect is happening 2 p.m. on the 5th November in Imperial College, London. So if you want to come, Annie, I hope that you can make the trip to London. But everyone else who's watching this video, if you want to come, join us, either find your future mentor, or just be inspiring by all the great young professionals and students. Please come and join us, join the fun. So Annie, thank you so much for taking the time. I still got one last questions to you. And I asked that to most of the people, which is if you can give a small piece of advice to your younger Annie 10 years ago when you're fresh and trying to look for jobs and stuff like that, what would it be?
Oh, yes, yes. That's a great question. Looking back, this is like very specific at this stage of my life. Is when I was applying for jobs, especially graduates. I think applying for graduate jobs is probably the hardest thing ever in the UK. Afterwards, it comes, I think, easier because you have experience. But the experience I would give myself is do not underestimate how what a difference preparation can make. I mean, I did prepare for my interviews and assessment centers, but I felt looking back that I could prepare even better. And yeah, so that would be my practical advice to my younger self 10 years ago.
Thank you. Again, I wish you all the best, and thank you so much for taking the time and also for all the great help that you've done with VietPro over the past few years as well. We'd love to see you very soon, catch up in person. And yeah, everyone else, I hope that you find these sessions helpful, and I hope to see you all very soon on the 5th of November. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Make sure to come.